Hello, this is Natalie from 55855C, Struggers 2.0, and today I'm going to go over my top 5 notebook tips to help your guys' notebook in future. These are things that I've sort of learned to do in my notebooks, and we've won design award a couple times, so yeah. The first tip is going through like the design process on your notebook and like clearly showing that. So the first step of the design process is identifying the problem. So with our chassis, we identified the problem. So why do we need a chassis? Sorry, the frame is like not in the screen sharing thing, but it says why we need a chassis, so that's identifying the problem. Then you're going to brainstorm ideas. So you got blueprints and stuff. Also, when you're doing blueprints, something you want to do is label everything on PowerPoint if you're doing like a digital notebook. And then, so don't write stuff out on the paper because it's kind of hard to see that when you take a picture of it. Also, doing CAD models is very useful, but my team can't CAD, so yeah. And then after you brainstorm ideas, you're gonna do a decision matrix. A decision matrix is also pretty important. I'll talk about that later, but that's choosing the solution. And then you're gonna build the solution. And after you build the solution, you're going to code the solution, which, let me get there. Okay, so this is coding our solution. And after you code the solution, you're going to want to test and repeat the solution, test your solution, then repeat the entire process over and over again. And I have that right here. Okay, so you're gonna like run tests on your solution and just like figure out flaws with your design and fix it and repeat the process. That is probably one of the most important parts of the design process so that you guys look for. And then the next tip is organization. So let me go to my table of contents. Okay, so here I have I got profiles, game, important rules, and all this. So how I organized my notebook for this year is I took like a part of the robot and I added like a section, put all the sections for that part of the robot in one part of the notebook so it wasn't all spread out and stuff. So I got all the stuff about the chassis right here. And then I have all the coding stuff is over here. So we got that. But this is sort of how we organize things. You can do it differently, like with the page numbers and how do you want to do that, but I found that this is like the easiest way to organize. And then the next tip is adding extra table of content slides. So you, at the beginning of the year, you don't know how many slides you're gonna have of the table of contents. So I just added like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I added like 5 table of content slides. It's fine if you don't use all of them, but it's just pretty important because once you add all the page numbers in your notebook, it's like, it's kind of hard to change them. Can't really show it on here, but it's like over here. Yeah. So that's pretty important. And then my 4th tip is use the same font and size for basically all the text in your notebook. So with this, I used the this font and size 15 for basically everything. So right now I'm on slide 17 of my notebook, and if I go to like slide 39, it uses the same thing. And that is also pretty important for making your notebook look neat and organized. And then I used, I think the same font, just different size for titles and all that. So that's pretty important for making your notebook look neat and organized and all that. And then the fifth tip is the decision matrix. So let me see if I can get this. I'm just gonna bring this over. Okay. So a decision matrix helps you sort of decide the solution that you're gonna use. So after you have all your ideas and blueprints, then you're going to make them into like a list, and you're going to add criterias for what you want that mechanism to do on your robot. So this was deciding our intake. So we had idea 1 on our intake, idea 2 on our intake, idea 3 on our intake, and then we had the criterias of we want a fast intake, an efficient intake, and a durable intake. And we numbered everything from 1 to 4, 4 being the best at that criteria and 1 being the worst at that criteria. So you have all the ideas here. And then you go to the decision matrix, and idea 1 got 4 in speed, 2 in efficiency, 3 in durability, and you did that for basically, you judged all the ideas with that criteria, and you add up the total number of like points that you got for all the criterias, and that can help you decide which idea to go to or to go for. So that also helps not only just with your notebook, but with, it's just a good idea and just any engineering kind of thing. I'm gonna move that back. But those are just a few tips. There are more, so if you guys like this video, I can make more of these. And I'm also thinking of doing another video of like interviewing tips during your competitions. So yeah, bye.